Hello, everyone. We are about halfway through reading Hidden by Helen Frost. Today, we will be reading poems Swim to the Near Rope through Sam's Table, pages 67 through 84. Let's get started. Swim to the Near Rope, written by Wren. We're all heading to the waterfront to take our swimming test when Dara comes back to the cabin. Wren, why don't you wait for her? Casey suggests. Dara glances at me. No, I'm good, she says. She'll be okay. She knows the way. All 6 of us are sitting on the dock when Dara arrives. Savannah glances at me, meaning, look at her swimming suit. I wish I didn't even understand that look. I don't return it. Miles is assistant waterfront director this year. He's also the counselor for Boys Cabin 8. Good thing I like him because our 2 cabins will have a lot of activities together. He welcomes Dara, and she sits on the dock as far from me as possible. I ask, can I take life-saving this year? Miles teases me. Whoa, Wren, aren't you like 10 years old? He knows I'm 14. I'm pretty sure he'll let me in. First, we take the easy test in order to be allowed out on the raft. Miles gives the instructions. Swim to the near rope and back, and then tread water for 5 minutes. Everyone but Rachel passes that part easily. To get into life-saving, you have to know 5 different strokes, plus swim half a mile, and then dive down, find a brick, bring it up, and swim with it out to the raft. I can do all my strokes. Miles checks them off. I swim the half mile. Good, he says. Now, if I can just get the brick. I did it. What? Why is Dara swimming the half mile? She's trying out for life-saving? We're the only ones from our cabin to try for this. She's taking boating at the same time I am too, so if we both get into life-saving, that would mean almost our whole morning together. It's not that I don't like her, it's just that she knows too much about me. I have to find a way to tell her I don't want to talk about what happened without it sounding like I'm still messed up about it, because I'm not. I got over all that long ago. Really, I'm fine. Buddy Board by Dara. I'm getting into the routine. After lunch every day, we go back to the cabin for rest hour, and I lie down on my bed facing the wall. Huh? What's this sticking out from under my pillow? A yellow envelope with Dara written in perfect girl's handwriting, all round and even. I try to hide it and open it at the same time. Not too hard because no one notices me much. At least someone here knows my name. But who? The card is all sunflowers and butterflies. My hands shake when I read the short note inside. If you don't talk about who I was or how you knew me, I won't talk about you or your dad. It isn't signed, but I know who it has to be from. I turn around just enough to look up at Wren in the mirror, but she doesn't glance down. Is she going to pretend she didn't write it? 3 hours later, we're walking to the waterfront for free swim, and I think I might catch Wren's eye, just to nod okay, but she walks ahead with Torin. It looks like she doesn't want to talk to me. I try to act cheerful, like I would if I felt included, but everyone else pairs up, so when we get to the buddy board, you have to have a buddy before you go in. They're all, sorry Dara, I already have a buddy. Right next to the buddy board, there's a glassed-in case with a list of everyone in the life-saving class. It's taken 2 days for Miles to post it. I got in! So did Wren and one other girl, Jonah. Also 5 boys, including Jeremy, the one I met the first day. I want to tell Wren, but her back is turned to me. Never mind. She'll find out sooner or later. A group of little kids crowd in. It must be Boys Cabin too. I recognize Sam and smile at him. He grabs my arm. You remember me? You watched me take my test. Will you be my buddy? Who knew I could make someone so happy? Okay, I answer, and he gives me a huge smile. Savannah sees that I'm buddies with an 8-year-old. She opens her eyes wide and looks at Jeremy and Derek, nodding her head toward me. Derek shrugs. Jeremy shoots a smile my way. "Hey, Dara, I would have been your buddy," he says. Sam pulls me away, and I say to Jeremy, "It looks like I'm taken." All I really need is one friend here, and Jeremy would be a lot better than Sam. But hey, maybe I'll have two. Sam drags me into the water, instructing me, "You stand right there and I'll jump in. Catch me if I get scared." He jumps in, swims a few feet, and stands up smiling. "Now what should we play?" he asks. Marco Polo by Wren. Everyone knows the rules for free swim. Stay inside the ropes, no cannonballs off the raft, no running on the dock. Mile reminds us, you don't have to stick with your buddy all the time, but don't swim so far apart that you can't get back together to hold up your hands when the whistle blows. We all plunge in. I swim with Torin out to the raft, and we dive off the diving board. Jeremy and Derek swim out. Savannah won't be far behind. Here she comes now. There are too many kids on the raft, so Miles sends half of us back in, including me. Dara's in the shallow part, surrounded by little kids who holler their heads off whenever she yells Marco and swims after them. "Polo," they yell. "Polo! Polo!" Swimming away from her, ducking underwater. She looks happy, like she's having so much fun she doesn't care about us. She tags Megan's little brother Sam, then dives down and pops up somewhere else. Sam could break our eardrums with his screeching, "Marco! Marco!" I'm dangling my feet off the dock while Dara acts like an 8-year-old. And it happens again. I feel like I'm 8 years old. The warm car, the gunshot, the bumpy, dusty car ride, the dark garage. Sam swims over to me, grins, and grabs my foot. Grit on the floor of the car. How far am I from home? Do not move. Can't breathe. Sam is laughing, teasing, trying to pull me in. All the little kids are watching. Dara swims over and says, "Want to play?" And my leg flies out. I kick her hard, in her right arm. "Hey, what you do that for? It's just a game." 4 little boys are shouting at me. Dara doesn't say a word. I turn away, trying to hide my face, silently telling my tears, "Stop it," the way you might try to command a disobedient dog. Can you skip me? Written by Dara. Wren's not exactly making it easy for me to avoid talking about it. Everyone saw her kick me. They must think there was a reason. Jeremy was watching. I saw her talking to him later, and he won't know there's another whole part of the story, whatever story she might have told him. I don't really care, except Mom insists I have to be here for another week and a day. It would help to have a friend close to my age, and Jeremy seems nice. I mean, maybe friend would be a long shot, but I know he doesn't despise me. Oh well, 6 days down, 8 to go. Casey does this one special moment thing every night before she turns out the lights. Rachel says, "I threw my first pot this morning." Torin, "I got a letter from Mom today. Everything's good at home. Dad got a job." Savannah starts in. At 2 minutes after 1 o'clock, I notice Derek looking at me across the woodwork shop. He sees me looking back and gets a smile on his face, and She goes on for 5 minutes giving every detail of her moment. Wren mentions her happy home like she thinks everybody has one. Even though I'm not quite old enough, Miles let me into life-saving, and Mrs. Seeger let me call Mom and Dad and Alex to tell them, and they were all cheering on the phone. Alex said he knew I could do it. I remember Alex, her older brother. Mom said to leave everything in the car that night, but I didn't. I kept a little photo album. I found it under the seat of their car. Alex was 10 back then, if I'm remembering right. I hid the album in the back of my closet, and I liked to take the pictures out and look at them. I wonder where Wren and Alex were going, all dressed up in that one picture. "Dara," says Casey. "What, it's my turn? Can you skip me?" I say. Nothing special happened today. But Casey answers, no, try to think of something. It would be pathetic to say, a girl in cabin 6 talked to me, or I played water basketball with boys cabin 2. That won't work. I'll make something up. My parents got a new car. Parents? That's good, but what if Casey knows about Dad? At first, I was sure no one here knew about that, but now I come to find out Mrs. Beams, the head cook, was Grandma's friend back in the day. She said to me, I'm right here for you if you need anything, honey. I blurt out, Mrs. Beams calls me honey. Okay, I know that was dumb. All the girls laugh. At Mrs. Beams or at me? Torrin says, there's a lot of people she calls honey, Dara. Including, it turns out, Dan, the boating director, who has also worked here forever and likes Mrs. Beams, or maybe the pizza she gives him late at night, or something. Casey interrupts just when it starts to get interesting. Chen, she says. Well, okay, but I'm not sure if this is special or not. I thought that about mine too. You know how when you mix all the colors together you get brown? Well, I found out that you can make different shades of brown by adjusting the amounts of each color. I don't know how special that is, but it's interesting. Casey turns out the lights and we all get quiet. When she thinks we're asleep, she goes out to sit on the front steps of the cabin, but no one is asleep. Megan whispers across the top bunks to Wren, Hungry? Wren says, Yeah, and before long, there's a sneaky little party going on. Block and Perry by Wren. Life saving is the last class every morning, the hour right before lunch. It's cold when we dive in the water. 4 laps of freestyle, 2 butterfly, 3 backstroke, 15 minutes treading water. Now, Miles is demonstrating this thing called block and parry. I need someone in the water with me, he says. Jeremy took this class last year, and he didn't pass, but he knows more than the rest of us, so he gets in the water and acts like he's drowning. Miles swims toward him as if he's going to rescue him, and right when it looks like he's got him in a carrying position, Jeremy twists around and lunges, getting Miles in a headlock, pushing him down underwater. Whoa, Jeremy, don't drown the teacher. But then we see Miles bob up smiling, a few yards away. His point? You might think your victim will be grateful to be rescued, but if you're not careful, the person can panic, get away, and come after you. You can end up needing to be rescued yourself. We don't want a double drowning, Miles says. Shouldn't you two be partners? By Dara. This Wren thing is getting harder, like in life-saving class. Shouldn't you two be partners? You're about the same size. Jonah is way taller. And I'm thinking, well, yeah, I would be partners with Wren, but see, my dad kind of kidnapped her one time and she might not like me too much. I don't know what Wren says if people ask her. It wouldn't be so bad if life-saving was our only class together, but we have boating together too. And rest hours and bedtimes in the cabin. She gets letters from home every day, including the first day we were here, which means someone wrote her a letter before she left home. She puts them all in a little box on a shelf by her bed, right next to my shelf, in the space between our 2 bunks. At first, I didn't pay much attention, but yesterday she showed Torrin a picture her mom sent, and now I'm thinking about her family. What does her brother look like after all this time? In all the pictures of him and Wren together, I saw how happy they both looked, making a big snowman or washing a car, Alex scrubbing with a soapy sponge, Wren rinsing with a hose. I wondered if they were posing for those pictures. It didn't seem like it. They looked like 2 good friends. Like sisters or cousins, by Wren. Torrin says, Wren, seems like you've changed. Is everything good with you? She's waiting for me outside the shower house to walk back to the cabin together. Torrin has been my best friend at camp for 4 years. Lots of people, when they first meet us, ask if we're sisters or cousins or something. But even to her, I've never talked about what happened. I haven't told her how I know or don't know Dara. I can't say what it is, she says. You're quieter. You've always been friendly to everyone, know what I mean? Is something going on, like maybe your parents are getting divorced? Her voice shakes a little when she says that. Is there something in her life she wants to tell me about? No, I'm good, I say. How about you? She doesn't answer right away. Yeah, there was some hard stuff at home this year, she finally says. Dad lost his job. I didn't think I'd be able to come back to camp. Then, Mom took out a loan to pay for it, and they had a big fight about that. Some people think everyone at this camp has to be rich, but it's not true. I wait to see if Torn is going to say something about a divorce. She doesn't. We're almost back to the cabin. We slow down so we can keep talking. Is that why you can only come for 2 weeks this year? She nods. Things might get better now that your dad got a job, I say. It's all I can think of, not much help. She says, yeah, maybe, but I don't want to leave next Saturday. Saying goodbye is always the worst part of camp. Sam's Table by Dara. Dara is sitting with Boys Cabin 2? By now, everyone is used to it. It started the day I played Marco Polo with the little kids. When I didn't know where to sit in the dining hall, Sam saw that I was looking for a table and he jumped up. Dara, sit with me, sit here! Like I was the coolest friend a kid could have. I kept searching for someone my age to sit with, but all the tables were either empty or reserved. You know how people can make you feel like something is saved for other people, and even if they don't say who, you know it isn't you? That's how it was. So I sat at Sam's table, impressed his friends. Who knows if Wren and the rest of Cabin 8 even noticed that first time, but by now they do. Maybe I'll try sitting with them one of these meals. Wren Abbott, as Sam would say, is not the boss of me. 4 more days until I can leave if I want to.